Sports Flash on 1420 WEMB Sports Radio.
Long setting by Minter. Now the pitch. Swinging a ground ball inside third. Fair ball. Going down the left field line. That could score two. Conforto's in. McNeil rounds third. He's digging for the plate. He will slide in safely ahead of the relay throw. It's a two-run double for Pete Alonso. And the Mets have opened up an 8-5 lead here in the bottom of the eighth inning as the Mets all-star kids come through.
The Mets score, you heard Matt Polly with the sports update, scored 5 runs bottom of the 8th inning. Sean Newcombe could not hold the 2-run lead. And so the Braves have to settle for being only 5.5 in first place and not 6.5 up by losing a late game to the Metsies, 8-5. Pete Alonso's 2-run double being the last straw in the ball game. Still, I'm not sure that it is the end of the world there for the Atlanta Braves. There again, 5.5 game lead. But disappointing to see that out of Newcombe. No question about it. Very disappointing to see that out of Newcombe. The reports are, and Alex Doherty said that this was going to happen, and lo and behold, it appears that it will. Matt Duchene is going to sign a big deal with the Nashville Predators. People are really ecstatic about this. I don't see necessarily how Duchene is going to help the power play that was so woeful. Like I said, he's not a guy that I think is going to, stand in front of the net to try to knock it in. He's not going to be one of those guys. He's not 6 feet tall. He's not 200 pounds. Goal scorer, well, he had 70 points last year, career year, 31 goals. That's not bad. I guess that if I want to see a big free agent contract, I guess, and of course I was spoiled. I grew up watching Mario Lemieux, and for that matter, Wayne Gretzky, and just people don't put up those kind of scoring totals anymore. So 31 goals was never a bad total by any means, but it's just that I always sort of you want the 40 goal scorer. He's 28 years old, as Matt Duchene, free agent. Looks like a 7-year contract, $8 million a year. So the NBA free agency begins today. Who cares? I'm about the local team around here. But in 73 games last year for the Blue Jackets, including with the Senators and the Blue Jackets, and he was right there, when the Blue Jackets stunned the Lightning in the playoffs. 31 goals, 39 assists, 70 points total. 10 points in 10 games for the Blue Jackets when they got hot. So, yeah, one of the ideas was that Tennessee doesn't have an income tax, which Ohio does, and Pennsylvania does. And, so the idea of playing for the Predators at $8 million a year became that much more conducive and all that. I do think that when the Predators go and they visit the Penguins or the Flyers, that, there is, literally the players have to hire an accountant and say, okay, here's 3% of our income for that day, and they have to send it to the state of Pennsylvania, Commonwealth as the case may be. A lot of those income tax states really do, go after the pro athletes who make a visit and all that. That has been done before. But yeah, that's, so Duchene, it looks like, is going to go to Nashville. They were always wanting this. Now, what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing from a lot of Predators fans is something that normally I would say, you're crazy. No way is this the case. Get out. No, you're making up something that isn't there. I'm talking about, they'd say, PK Subban for Matt Duchene. Fans I'm seeing, though, like that. Now, of course, that's not a straight trade by any means. But Subban to the Devils was a salary dump, and everybody knows it. And now, there's enough room to go give big money, $8 million a year for 7 years to Duchene. Duchene will be 35 by the time the contract ends, and I don't know. In his prime now, but yeah, you're getting the second half of his career. He's earned it. I'm not 100% just absolutely wonderful, but then again, Predators need to pick up a big star. I just want to know what you're going to do on the blue line. Subban's production seemed to erode a bit last year. No, it's a blue line. It's like talking about a running back and a quarterback here. It's a blue liner against, forward. Come on, it's pretty big, But still, they need something to pick up the star power. Subban, the offensive defenseman, needs something to pick up the slack. Again, I'm not sure about the power play. Duchene, as a rookie, scored 10 power play goals. Respectable amounts since then, but respectable. That's what the Predators have to shore up. How much will he hurt? Probably nothing. How much will he help? I don't know. By the way, a quick note for the SEC football fans. By the way, tomorrow with Asian House Vols Talk with Caleb Calhoun. Remember Jared Lorenzen? How could you forget? Played beginning of the century for the Kentucky Wildcats. And for a while, he was Eli Manning's backup. Won a Super Bowl ring in that capacity, I believe. He is not in the best of shape. He's just been hospitalized. Now, a lot of humor was made on Lorenzen. I remember one blogger who talked about it's a quarterback competition in Kentucky while he was playing there, and that Lorenzen won the quarterback competition by eating his teammate. Because he was listed at 275 or 285, but really seemed to be a 300-pound quarterback. Hefty lefty, they called him. He preferred J-Lo. I cannot tell you how different the bodies are between Jared Lorenzen and Jennifer Lopez. However, I could see why he would like that. Yes, J-Lo. Yes, certainly. His weight had ballooned, however, recently to 500 pounds. And, this is a guy who is not yet 40 years old. He hadn't been feeling well for a while, and he was brought to the hospital, fairly quickly admitted to the intensive care unit. He's got an infection, kidney and heart issues, fighting with everything he has. Immediate family's by his side. Like I said, he was a memorable player. He also had a likable personality, as I recall. And, in fact, he played some indoor football after his career with the Giants went south. Was the backup. They found another backup quarterback. And he still remained in good spirits, although, he was playing quarterback in an indoor team more than 300 pounds. What can you say? This would be an athlete taken to us too young. It was once upon a time kind of a humorous thing that we all kind of liked. It became part of him. I don't think he actually put down Jared Lorenzen because of his weight. You just sort of made a humorous remark because there was a comfort level with Lorenzen. 71-63, I don't know if we can start joking about weight with him anymore. Like I said, he's 500 pounds and not getting any better. We're going to talk, if all goes well here, to Tim Dodson in this. He's a sports writer for the Bristol Herald-Courier, and today is the first day that one can gamble, theoretically at least, in Tennessee. Actually, maybe not. And Tim Dodson will tell us about this. Like I said, Bristol Herald-Courier. Still, though, I get on the Appalachian League a lot. And I guess one of the reasons why is this, since we're talking about Bristol. Today, there is going to be an inspection at Boys Cox Field because this past weekend, the Bristol Pirates were playing, and the concrete block bleachers along their first base side of the park, concrete block bleachers? They were closed at the direction of the city of Bristol, Virginia, pending the inspection of the city's structural engineers. Of course, Malin Luttrell, who is now on Bristol, Tennessee City Council and is the Pirates president, or at least what is it called? Bristol Baseball Incorporated. That's sort of like calling the Pittsburgh Pirates the Pittsburgh Athletic Company, which is actually their official name, if you must know. Bring a lawn chair. That's what they told their fans. How ETSU? Remember when ETSU, Betty Basler Field, the stadium that should be named after Jim Mooney? Yeah, remember that one? Here's the deal. They actually had fireworks on Friday. They had the Merchants Night. That's really a promotion that I've actually been told that's not the best promotion. I used to sell tickets from Merchants Night. You didn't even get minimum wage. It was straight commission. But what you did in Merchants Night was you basically called up all the businesses in town and said, would you like to buy these whiz-bang tickets at $60 for 60 tickets? And they'd sell, the area businesses, $5,000 for this one game. Never, 500 people would show up. That was sort of the thing. This is your giveaway. This is your, The problem was, as one general manager told me about this, is it sort of cannibalizes what you want to do. Maybe that's a good idea to do for churches. It might not be that good for the car dealers because you're asking for $60 when you should be asking for $6,000. Big time advertising. And then if you want to come to the ballpark or you want to give away 2 tickets with a test drive or something, you're going to give that kind of money. Those 2 tickets will be valid for any game in Bristol. Still, though, it proves what we've said on here. Boyce Cox Field is the worst park in minor league baseball. It's falling apart. I used to call the action of the Alexandria Aces minor league baseball team. They were in Alexandria, Virginia. I was their last broadcaster. That team played in a ballpark that was partially condemned. Boarded off, if you will. You did, after a while you forgot about it, but it really wasn't ideal. And the team went belly up in the middle of the year. That won't happen to the Bristol Pirates. But yeah, it is not a good look. They're talking about moving the Bristol Pirates to Tennessee and building them a $16 million ballpark. Why don't you save that money instead of trying to keep up with the Joneses Bristol, exceed it, and bring in a AA team? That's what I would do. I also am going to be talking to Tim Dodson about how you can gamble on sports in Tennessee. That's coming up.